Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome to Season 3 Playback with K-Wing. Since I'm a YouTube partner now, vids no longer need to be split in parts. I also removed the old intro and replaced it with the current Doctor Who Mega Man 2 opener that you all love. Today's video is one of my more well-known reviews, Shining Force for the Sega Genesis. So what do I think of this classic game? Watch the video to find out.
Hey gamers, welcome to Season 3, Episode 1, Shining Force. This is also review number 79. Well, let's get things started out right, shall we? It's time for the story for this game. Basically, we have another story about the struggle between good and evil, light and dark. And in this case, the ancients are the past civilization and the dark dragon represents the bad people. And the ancients fought the dragon with the power of light, and they defeated the dragon and sent him to another dimension. The dragon, however, vows to return after 1,000 years. For 10 centuries, peace ruled in the kingdom. However, the kingdom of Runefest is set out to change all this as they wage war on the world. Searching for the treasures of the ancients to revive the Dark Dragon, it's up to one man to lead a brave group known as the Shining Force. Concept for this game. Initially, the game focuses around revenge, actually. The player sets out to avenge your fallen teacher and king, who were slain by the supreme swordsman known as Cain. While chasing after Cain, the player gets involved with more than they wanted to, really. The game consists of 8 chapters. The early chapters are pretty long, and near the end of the game, you get a reprieve, so to speak. For the most part, the whole game appears to be one battle after another. Then you have to guide Max through a town, castle, or village, talk to the people, and help them out the best you can. Then it's off to fight another battle. After an hour or so, you visit another town, and get another request from the townspeople. So Max and company have to set out to fight again. The key is in the basement, but first can you clear out the monsters? I've been meaning to, but since you're here and all, why don't you? Come on! My grandson went missing, but if you find him, you can have my ship. Since when did the Shining Force become mercenaries for hire? This isn't Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, you know. Or is it? Seeing that Cain was but a pawn and Dark Saul is the brains behind the operation, it's your job to stop him, obviously. But I digress. If you manage to keep your attention span after one tediously long battle after another, you start to get addicted to this game. I started playing just to review it, and then I got hooked, and had to level up everyone in my party to the 30s and 40s. But that's not the whole point of the game either. Like many strategy games, you have to build an army, hence why they call it Shining Force. Getting people to join up is what makes this game more fun. It's actually not too hard to find people to join. Only a few characters are secret. The rest are in towns or castles or places you visit throughout the game. Oh yeah, one more important thing about this game is leveling up your characters. Like any normal RPG, promoting and leveling up is essential. Promoting your army is a really good idea because your characters become so uber strong, and it just makes the game so much more easier to play, and a lot of fun too. Time for the controls for this game. Alrighty, just so everybody knows, this is for the Wii Mote control held NES style. Now the controls are pretty basic. You move your character with the command cross or gamepad in the direction you wish them to go, and to access your actions menu, you press the 2 button. The 2 button also makes your action commands come to life, like attacking, using magic, items in battle, and it also talks to villagers and people in towns and castles. And that's really it. The 1 button will cancel your actions. The start button does nothing, and neither does the A button. So again, not much to it. Shining Force offers no counterattacks in this game either. It's a turn-by-turn fighting game, meaning they get to attack and then you get to attack, but neither one of you can defend or counterattack, which really stinks. However, just because the controls are simple, this game is in no way an easy game. This game expects you to think, plot, plan, strategize, and be alert at all times. Although if you fall asleep, the computer can't steal your turn. Time for the design for this game. Well, what can I say about the design for this game? Well, the foreground changes based on your location, and for the most part it's trees, rocks, cliffs, desert, plains, and forests. Although sometimes you get to go to towns, castles, caves, and even a circus too. My favorite design background is the ruined Temple of Light. It looks really cool, and I don't really know why. Sega did a great job with the character designs in the battles too, and for the most part, this old game is not too bad to look at either. If the player was getting bored of the same old green grass cliffs, etc., you did get to fight 2 very long, relaxing battles aboard your ship. Sega paid really close attention to detail for this game, and I'm impressed to say the least. It's sad how people are judging games now based on how they look, when those people really don't know what real gaming is. Know your roots, people. Just because the game looks great doesn't always mean that it plays great. Time for the memories for this game, which is a new segment. Man, I remember walking over to my friend's house through the mini forest behind my old house in upstate New York. He played this game religiously. Whenever I came over, I had to sit and watch him play this game time and time again. There came a point where I grew to loathe this game. Although to be fair, when he came over, all I did was play A Link to the Past while he watched. Can I see a show of hands of how many people know exactly what I'm talking about? That you either have a friend that plays games while you watch, or vice versa? Anyway, my buddy Knights was a year or 2 older than me, so I wasn't too thrilled with this game. Plus, I didn't really understand it. To me, it looked like the same thing over and over again, and it looked very boring, especially watching it. I wanted to come over and play a 2-player game like Turtles 2, or Double Dragon, something. I wonder if Knights remembers me. Probably not. Time for the music and sound for this game. Please keep in mind this is another new segment. The music is not too shabby in this game. Well, for this type of game anyway, strategy RPGs. All the villages, towns, and castles sounded the same because the music was limited because of the time it released. Occasionally, I did have to hit the mute button during an hour battle or so because it was messing with my sanity. That and the missus was saying, "Could you please turn it down, honey?" Time for the history for the Shining Force The Legacy of Great Intention came out March 20th of 92 in Japan, and arrived in the US spring of 93, and July of 93 for Europe. Shining Force is a turn-based strategy RPG. Although many people try to call this a real-time strategy game, they don't know what they're talking about. You fight like in an RPG, there's a long story, and leveling up and promotions. It's a strategy RPG like Final Fantasy Tactics or Fire Emblem. Shining Force is the first Shining Force in the series, however it's not the first Shining game in the series. Shining in the Darkness is a dungeon crawler game and is a sequel to Shining Force, since the main villain is the son of Darksoul. Again, this game was a first-person dungeon crawler, think Shadowgate, except more fun. Shining Force did get a sequel, however, in 1994 called Shining Force 2: The Ancient Ceiling. Many fans consider this to be the best Shining Force game in the series, since the story wasn't lost or edited too much in translation. Players got enthralled in this new land too. When Slay the Thief stole the jewels of good and evil, he set about a chain of events that would call a new Shining Force into action. Players wondered, however, what happened to Max, the keeper of the Chaos Breaker. Now we know at the end of Shining Force that Max settled down in a new village and had a family, but he never went in contact with the original Shining Force, wanting to think that he was dead. He would, however, appear in another Shining Force game called Shining Force: The Final Conflict, fighting alongside Kane's son on the Sega Game Gear. After the critical success of Shining Soul series, Sega decided to revamp Shining Force. In 2004, Max and company returned for a more detailed plot than previously. The game is like a director's cut of Shining Force, with new characters, battles, and great visuals. Both Shining in the Darkness and Shining Force are available on the Wii Virtual Console. And Shining in the Darkness is a well-told story, and Shining Force is a great strategy RPG game for you guys to play. While Shining Force 2 is on the way for the Virtual Console, Shining Force should keep you guys preoccupied. It's a very long and fun game. Time for the tips and strategies. Okay, this is a brand spanking new segment where I give you guys tips, tricks, cheats, and strategies that I've used in the game. Think of it like K-Wing's Gaming 101, if you will. Okay, so early on the game, you're going to want to split your party into 2 groups, and to level up your archers and spearmen as much as you can. Then you're going to want to keep Max protected at all times, because he's weak, and if he dies, then you lose. After you weaken the enemy, however, move Max in for the kill to pick up more experience points so he can level up. Because once he's leveled up, then you won't have to worry about protecting him so much, as he'll be a powerhouse, and you can worry about leveling up your other characters. Archers and long-range fighters are again very important early on in the game because they can throw stuff from afar and weaken the enemy, and then you can have your characters you're trying to level up move in and gain experience more. For the most part, the thing you should always have in this game is balance. Try not to have too many of the same type of soldier in your army, like too many centaurs, archers, wingmen, you name it. You should always have at least 2 wizards in your party, 1 healer, 1 archer except Lyle towards the end of the game, 1 flying character, and a couple of centaurs, preferably the ones with the spears, and only 1 equipped with a short-range weapon. Keep the weak members of your party towards the back and stronger ones toward the front, but don't keep the weak members too far behind or the stronger ones will hog up all the experience. Since battles aren't random in this game, and if you defeat the enemy, you can't fight them again, which sucks. Or if you cast Urgais, you can use Angel Wing too and leave the battle before taking out the ringleader. This is the easiest way to increase your levels and get all your party promoted. Just remember that it takes a long time to level up, like hours or days. It's up to you because the higher the level you are, the easier the end of the game becomes. And let me tell you, being a level 40-something going up against Dark Dragon is like eating cake. There are 2 hidden characters that people seem to miss in this game, but don't worry, I'll show you how to get them and why they rule. To get the samurai to join your party, read the note on the wall and prompt after being released from jail. The only downside to the samurai is his limited movement, but if you use the turbo pepper on him, he becomes more powerful than Max. Not to mention this guy can take a beating and keep on trucking. He also makes mincemeat out of some of the toughest enemies in the game. Now, the ninja is found in the first flower bush in the last village. His attacks are not as strong as the samurai's, but his magic is way better than Arthur's. You'll tend to use the ninja to kind of weaken the enemy, as he can get them down to like 2 or 4 points of damage, and then you can have your weaker characters move in and gain the experience. His magic attacks, again, they're stronger than Arthur's, and his D-Soul is wicked cool. And that's all I have to tell you guys about how to do well in this game. Moving on to the bad aspect. What do I have wrong with Shining Force? Well, for starters, the inability to store weapons and items is a pain that worsens by the chapters. I don't know about you guys, but when I open a chest, I don't know, I want to be able to have the item and not mess around with swapping items with other characters. Sure, you can give other items to other members in your party, but that takes a tremendous amount of time. It would be nice if there's a way to store lots of items, like a storage house, or have like some kind of banker in your party, or have the item automatically go to someone who has a free space to store it. I really hated the battle with the laser eye. Now on my Wii, it said that I spent 5 hours or more on this battle alone, minus the time to level up, use Urgais, and go back and fight again to, you know, promote and stuff like that. I really, really, really hated this battle. It's just annoyingly long and not fun at all. I could understand it being near the end of the game, but the 3rd chapter, my characters aren't at high levels yet, and the canon turns them to Swiss cheese because they're so weak. I just hated this battle more than anything. Time for the good aspect. The diverse characters in this game rock. Now everybody has his or her favorite fighter, and they can tell you why in great detail they love that character so much. Most people use the dragon and Grunts the steam tank and the flying old man and others. A lot of people, however, don't end up using Ken after you get other paladins like Arthur and Ernest. I leveled up Ken, however, beyond level 30 on Paladin, and gave him the Valkyrie weapon, and let me tell you guys, old Ken is a force to be reckoned with alone. Every time he gets up, he automatically takes out the enemy. 1 hit. Still, I do have my 4 favorites other than Max. I like Gort. Let's face it, he looks like Thunderhead from Golden Axe. That's reason enough to like him. Zolo is just awesome. Everybody loves the werewolf. He is a force to be reckoned with and is awesome. The ninja, after a little bit of leveling up, he becomes really good, but the samurai is the best. He is my opener, middleman, punching bag, guard for my weaker characters, and he is the closer most of the time. I leveled him up stronger than Max, and he killed Dark Soul and Dark Dragon. Time for the conclusion of this game. Okay, so the story is a little messed up and not identical to the Japanese Shining Force. It's not like not knowing Max and Kane are brothers makes the game any better or worse. does it? Still, this scene would have made more sense. I mean, why would Max be sad? Anyway, I recommend Shining Force for the hardcore crowd only. The reason is, the game requires lots of skill, patience, plotting, planning, and strategy. Again, you don't want to rush into a battle. This is a very long game, but can be very rewarding at times, too. Still, not much replay value here, so if you download it, it's got a one-time playthrough. But the game's so long that it'll give you hours of enjoyment anyway. The game gets an 8 out of 10. If you guys do download Shining Force today, you should have it theoretically completed by the time Shining Force 2 arrives on the Virtual Console later this fall. I love this scene, it's just so awkward. Anyway, the next review will be the critically acclaimed and underrated ActRaiser, made by Enix, which was like a side-scrolling action game with Sims element. The game was re-released by Square Enix on the Virtual Console last year. Well, that does it for me, guys. God bless and happy gaming, and thank you so much for watching this review. This is K-Wing, signing off.